All right, and welcome back again to this shit show of whatever I'm not calling this series. Uh,
Preseason grades, isn't it?
Preseason grades. Yeah, I'm trying to find my hats. I'm kind of pissed. I have a Cubs hat around here somewhere. I don't know what I did with it.
You lost your
Oh, there it
Cubs
is.
hat. How did you lose your Cubs hat? That's your second favorite team.
I just no. I got like a whole stack of hats. I just kind of forgot where I put my hats. Man, I haven't. By whole stack of hats, I mean I got my Blue Jays hat and my Cubs hat. My other hats don't fit me because I haven't been collecting hats in quite a bit. So anyway, put this on.
You're gonna
My
put it on for the
2016.
people to not be able to see the fact that you have it on.
Yes, but it makes me feel a little bit more secure. More secure than the Cubs make me feel going into 2020. Um, so 2019, the Cubs were disappointing. Not in like everyone knew that the NL Central race was going to be really, really competitive and like going to be a close race. Sorry, my dog. Someone decided to let my dog in my room and she start crying, so I had to let her out. And they kind of just the problem with every team in the NL Central last year was bullpens. Everyone's bullpen sucked ass. And it was a question of who's going to suck the least ass, and the Cardinals bullpen sucked the least ass, and they had the most competent closer in Giovanni Gallegos, so they ended up winning the league, or winning the Central, and the Brewers just had another monster season from Christian Yelich to put them in the playoffs, and they also had Josh Hader. So here, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to it's very frustrating. The Cubs have no excuses to have had the offseason they had. But if this was an off-season grading video, it'd be an F. They did nothing. They were pathetic this off-season. They have they have one of the largest payrolls in the system. They have the luxury tax should mean nothing to them. The big announcement they made at Cubs Con, I didn't even realize it was a thing. There's a Cubs convention every summer where players and past and current will come and talk and meet with fans, and they'll be presentations and stuff, which is kind of cool. And their big announcement is, we're gonna make a private channel. They're doing Yes Network type stuff, is what it sounds like. I don't know exactly what's going on. It sounds weird. They got booed at their own fucking convention because
Deserved.
and we're gonna start talking about the lineup. Look at that lineup: Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez. That is fucking nasty. Now Javi Baez hasn't been up for as long as the other two, so Javi Baez has a few more years for them to extend them. Anthony Rizzo wants to be a Cub for life, and not only does he want to be a Cub for life, he should be. And here's why. First basemen suck in the league. There was a time and place in the league where your first baseman is always the best hitter because you want your best hitter healthy, and first base is a pretty good place to stay healthy. But he can also field. He's won a platinum glove from first base. Platinum glove goes to the best defender in the league. He beat out third baseman and shortstops and second baseman who make acrobatic plays. You know, winning a platinum glove for the infield. So it's just he's got the glove, he's got the bat, and the Cubs just literally said, "Yeah, we're not offering you a contract." No, he's heading into. I think he's got one more season after this one with the Cubs because of his current extension. I think, if I read it correctly. But the Cubs told him this offseason, "Yeah, we're not offering anything," because the Cubs can't decide. You know, from their point of view, all they're seeing is darkness because their heads are shoved up their ass when it comes to this shit. So, yeah, look at the breakdown of his stats. Consistently good power, lots of RBIs, decent average for today's game, and a great on base percentage. What in that do you not want on your team? Not just that, I'm sorry, I'm realizing I'm not looking at your stream, I'm looking at my thing. There is nothing on that team you do not want, and he's a veteran now. He's been playing in the league for a while. He had one or two shit seasons with the Padres, and then came to the Cubs and just started smacking balls everywhere. It's been home run derby for him since. Man's clutch. Man's a leader in the clubhouse. People love him. Fans love him. They're just being absurdly stupid. Anyway, there's gonna be a lot more ranting in this video. This video's gonna be a little bit longer because I'm passionate about this team. But going back to the rest of them, Chris Bryant, this guy, they had posters, billboards outside Wrigley talking about this guy before he got called up. And then he won the fucking Rookie of the Year. And then the next year, won MVP. The guy had problems with injuries in 2018, but 2019, he came back and put up a strong season. That guy is another, that guy is the future of your team right there. He's got 2 more seasons left before you lose him to free agency. And that would be absurd. Now, I understand you can't just go around extending everyone, but you have to make a choice. If Chris Bryant says he doesn't want to keep playing for the Cubs, that's one thing. But he's made comments saying he wouldn't mind staying with the Cubs. These guys are the type you build a team around, and you're not doing it. So it's just frustrating. It's really, really frustrating because this is another like generational talent that is just currently just the Cubs are just like just can't fathom doing anything with. So anyway, then we got Javier Baez, who's just MVP threat in 2018. 2019, another excellent season. Not quite the same as 2018, but there was nothing like that. That was another. It was another stellar season from him. You got a lot more years on him than you do on. Well, actually, you got an extra year on him than you do on Bryant because we do. Yeah, they do. And so got a little bit more time with him because he didn't really stick in his first 2 call ups. But the way his bat has developed, the way his fielding has developed, funny enough, he wasn't a shortstop for a while. He was a second baseman. Then Axon Russell decided to go, beat his fucking girlfriend and get kicked off the team, or not get kicked off the team. Sorry, get suspended. And then Javier Baez moves to shortstop, and like, wait, he's so much better at shortstop.
I mean, that'll do it though. I mean, you beat your girlfriend, you get kicked off. That'll do it.
Yeah, and then thank God the Cubs finally got rid of him this past season. Now that is that. Never mind. Off season A grade. They got rid of fucking domestic violence on their team. Like, and like reading like the allegations, just absolutely horrific. But anyway, not gonna get too off topic here. Kyle Schwarber, everyone shits on Kyle Schwarber. Like the man is a power bat. He strikes out a lot, but he knocks baseballs out of the park. These top 4 guys have slugging percentages over 500. Like that is a threatening top 4. And Kyle Schwarber might not have the best batting eye, but his everything is going for extra base hits. And he walks more than Javier Baez does. So, say what you will about his defense, the bat's good. This lineup is good. Wilson Contreras, another good bat. Everyone was suddenly reminded of his power last year. Like, he'd always been, like, pretty solid. And 2018, his power kind of went away. And he just became a super clutch hitter this past season for them, but he did get injured. And so he missed a decent amount of time, which was a big blow to them. Which is another reason why they probably missed the wild card. Jason Hayward and listen, the contract is shit. When they signed him to this 5-year extension, or the 5-year contract, that was way bloated. Like everyone knew it was going to be bad, but it's not Dexter Fowler bad. When you look at comparable contracts, Dexter Fowler is getting paid just as much money hitting 180 and 230 as Jason Hayward has been getting to hit 250 to 260. So it sucks, but it's not like the worst possible situation. If he was getting paid less, you'd be happy with this guy because he's a solid outfielder, great defender, whatever bat with like some occasional clutch moments. So it is what it is. Jason Kipnis, picked up for in the offseason. That was your big offseason move. Great job. Guy can't hit, can barely hit 230. Guy can't hit. Like he doesn't walk. Just strikes out. Struggles to hit 230. He's like the guy is just falling off a cliff. Now I understand the Cubs' logic here, and it's one of those smart moves that it's one of those moves that teams make. It's like a guy who has once been great, now giving him a chance to be good again. Worst comes to worst is he doesn't work out, and you could trade him away or just DFA him. And so maybe something works out there, and you're able to flip him for prospects, which the Cubs do kind of need. or he can just become a solid second baseman. Because on the bench, you do have David Bodie, who is a pretty solid player, all-around player, who could very well be a starting second baseman, honestly, depending on how spring training goes. Trying to get out, you got Ian Happ. Ian Happ, everyone was very surprised last season when they sent him down to the minors. They told he didn't make the Cubs opening day lineup, and he didn't make the lineup until August. And when he came up, everyone's like, "Oh, kind of remember why it's kind of understand why he wasn't hitting." And then in September, he hit like a monster, doubles, homers, walking, like just doing everything, and he looked like Superman for a month. And so it'll be really interesting to see him this season, how he really adapts and like manages to see if he can really keep that up. Because if he can be that for the Cubs, that'll be a huge boost to them. Because this NL Central race is going to be a slaughterhouse. Like the pitching in this division is going to get beaten down, and they're going to be like you need to be able to, like this lineup can threaten pitching, and I think the Reds and the Cardinals have probably the best pitching in this division. Actually, I'm not even going to say the Reds. I'm going to say the Cardinals probably have the best pitching in the division. And so if you can beat up on the Cardinals and keep them out of the race, good. That's what you need to do. Um, so moving on to the starters, this is another. This is like one of the relatively safe areas of the Cubs. Is the starting rotation is pretty good. Yu Darvish, he started off really rough last year, and then kind of showed why the Cubs gave him so much money because he's throwing like six different types of pitches and making batters look stupid and striking everyone out and throwing really, really well. And so the ERA was bloated last season, definitely for what he was doing. And he struck out almost 230 batters. Like he's doing a lot when he's on the mound. And so I think that's a very solid guy to having at number one. Definitely, yeah, I'd say almost undisputably the ace of the team. The only one who comes in second is Kyle Hendricks, which if you could click on Kyle Hendricks, I just love this. Kyle Hendricks, the lower he throws, he doesn't throw hard. His fastball doesn't average 90. He averages 87 last season. His best season in the majors is 2017. Or no, sorry, it was 2016. But in 2017, he also had another really good season with only a 3.03 ERA. His fastball averaged 85. This guy, and one of my favorite pitching ninja tweets of all time, overpowering 82-mile-an-hour fastball from Kyle Hendricks. The man makes people look stupid. The man's a definition of control and movement, and when it comes to pitching, and it's super fun to watch, and it's super different to watch in a league of guys throwing 90s and hundreds, like just no problem. You got Jose Quintana, definitely the trade that they made for him not worth it. I'd much rather have Eloy Jimenez out there than I think everyone except Schwarber's. Hayward or Hayward or Hap instead of being down instead of Eloy Jimenez. You got a much more threatening outfield there. Or honestly, Jimenez or Schwarber still. Like honestly, would have been he's good, and I'm not gonna shit on him too much. Like I'm not gonna shit on him. He's a good pitcher, solid pitcher. He every 5 days he'll put up a good start, but not that dominant starting pitcher that the Cubs thought they were getting when they traded away so much for him. John Lester, we're going to talk about a lot more later. Reaching the end of his career, reaching the end of his time with the Cubs, and like he's the veteran presence of this rotation. He's the CC Sabathia. Actually, he had a excellent podcast with him about becoming the CC Sabathia of the Cubs, and it'll be really interesting to see him how he does. I'll get into more detail on him later. And then Tyler Chatwood is your fifth man. That can obviously change other people in the bullpen and your minors. You got Adbert Alzolay in the minors, Jarrell Cotton. You've got people who maybe can move into a spot in the rotation instead of him. Chatwood had a really horrible 2018. He walked, what was it? He had a 5.3 ERA and walked 95 batters in 103 innings with 85 strikeouts. Like the man sucked. And then last season, out of the bullpen, 176 innings, couple of spot starts, 74 strikeouts, 37 walks. Like he put it together really well last season, and so I feel like he profiles better as a bullpen arm based on what he did last year. But if he can continue that trend of last season and just keep his pitching game kind of rounded out like the way he did, he could be a pretty solid. If he does that, I don't think their club's rotation really has a big hole in it.
It
Like I
looks like
think
he
they
was
have a
just able
very
to throw the ball harder last year as well, which is normally a good sign that he's in good health, which helps.
yes. And I don't know about the health on him. Like I don't know anything about that, but like yeah, he was throwing the ball hard. Like he just looked better last season. Like straight up, just like something
I
just
mean,
looked
his
better.
average fastball, if this is correct, went up 3 miles an hour, which at
That's
age
insane.
28 going into 29, that's a pretty big jump. You don't just see that. So either there was something that they were able to change mechanics wise, or maybe did you say he
And
came
that's
out of the
actually
bullpen?
that
Because
is
if he
what
came
they
out of the
they did.
bullpen, that extra rest could help. There's a lot of reasons why, but that's a
Yeah,
good sign. It means his arm is in good health.
yeah, that too. And then they did do a breakdown on why his mechanics were so bad because like basically the way he was throwing the ball in 2018 and the way he threw the ball through his entire career, because his entire career he's had a horrible problem with walks, is like I don't remember what it was, but basically he was releasing the ball. Like his release point was just constantly off because of the way he was throwing it. So maybe he did make a mechanics change that has him throwing better. And
Well, his
so
walks were down as well, so it's kind of
no,
looking
his
like
walks
it.
were way down. That's the most important thing when you
Well,
look at Tyler Chatwood is his walks were like it was not the problem. Andrew
He
Varga, this
threw he
guy
threw
put
30 he threw 30 less innings, had only 10 basically 11 less strikeouts, but he had almost 60 less walks.
like that's a really good improvement. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Now comes my favorite part, talking about the bullpen.
You got a hard on
This
for the
is
bullpen, buddy.
well, I got a hard on for the bullpen because bullpens are what's going to decide this race because both teams have threatening line. Like all like the four major teams here. Sorry, Pittsburgh, you're not in it. Are all have threatening lineups with relatively solid starting pitching, and the question then becomes the bullpens who can close out the games after your starter comes out. And this is where we just get a load of ass. They desperately needed someone, and immediately they just let Steve Cishek walk across to the south side of Chicago to the White Sox. Steve Cishek has been quietly one of the best bullpen arms in the league the last two seasons. And you know what? He's got that funky sidearm delivery, and it was always fun watching him pitch because he's always been so good. And you just let him walk for pennies because you're too cheap to re-sign him. And so you got a lot of guys in here who are unproven or who have been around the league a little bit, like Jeremy Dreyfus. You signed, and you know, wait and see what you get from him. He had a horrible 2019. He had an excellent 2018, and an excellent few seasons between 2013 and 2016. But it's just you don't know what you're going to get after a guy in the bullpen puts up a 5.02. If he turns it around, that could be a steal from them, and that'll make their bullpen look a lot better. Sorry, drink. But as it stands right now, this bullpen sucks. There's not one guy in here you think, oh, he's gonna throw down like a really solid inning. I will say though, after I just realized I put my foot in my mouth, Rowan Wick came up last season and became a weapon out of the bullpen for them. The big problem last year is also not having lefties in the bullpen, which I'm not even gonna get into. But he came up through 33 innings. Didn't have a lot of time up in the majors, but at a 2.43 ERA and a solid 95 mile an hour fastball, like that could be a sign of someone. But that was only his first season in full action. We'll have to wait and see how he does. But so you have to look out for him too. And then there's the big sore spot, Craig Kimbrell. You like to click on Craig Kimbrell's name. I'm gonna let you figure out what the problem with him was last season. You just want to take a wild guess. You just want to look at his historical stats and look what he did last season.
4 losses and a 6.5 ERA.
Yeah, four losses, I don't give a shit when it comes to relievers, get losses because they'll give up 1 or 2 runs. It happens. Yeah, 6.53 ERA, 1.6 WHIP out of the bullpen after they paid you a shitload of money, after you spent all this time in not accepting offers because teams were after all this time where you were like got an instant bidding war after June and the Red Sox weren't going to get an extra draft pick. And this is what happens? Like, it's just. And now, there are a lot of things that could have gone wrong. Not having spring training, practicing against, minor league hitters. He did get injured. Like, there's problems that could have obviously affected this, but his fastball was down. His strikeouts were not as insane as they've been. 2018, 96 strikeouts in 62 innings. 2017, 126 strikeouts in 69 innings. 274, 143, 3.4. I would take a 3.4 ERA out of the bullpen. And then this man won, I think he won Rookie of the Year, right?
Okay, as the devil's advocate here, I'm gonna have to come to his defense. He only threw 20 innings. He got a very tiny sample size. He threw about a third of the innings he normally throws. 6.5 is not good, but if he was injured and he was bouncing around, it just a lot of things would stack up on top of each other.
No,
You had a bad season.
that's like the glimmer of hope here, is that it could have just been that, which the logical part of me says it's because he was bounced around, he didn't get that full spring training, because even if you're doing spring training stuff like waiting to go, it's not the same as being with the
You said he
team
was
and
injured as well, right?
and I think he did get injured. If I remember correctly, he did get injured.
Because
I'm not.
I will say this, recovering from injury and trying to come back and play, a lot of
Well,
times.
I think injury ended the season. I'm not sure he necessarily got injured in between there. I'm
Oh,
not,
okay. Because
but he may have.
if he got injured mid-season and tried to make a comeback, there are just some times that like you rush back and it's just kind of a nagging thing that it's not bad enough to stop you from playing, but it kind of bothers you. And when you're talking about a pitcher, it could be a nagging knee for all he could have caught his spikes in the dugout and that'll be it. Because
Okay,
if you
yeah,
can't
no,
plant well,
he went down for knee inflammation on August 5th and came back up August 18th. But like, and because my favorite thing is the Anthony Rizzo highlight of during his very first save for the Cubs, they bring him in, Wrigley's on their feet, and it's just a bunch of balls that are just whipped at people. And the last one, Anthony Rizzo has to dive for, and then he has to dive again to get to the bag because the guy's flying down the line, and it's like one of the most insane plays I've ever seen a first baseman make. But it's all like I'm obviously being really hard on him here, but like he just didn't look good, and I'm hoping that it's not just. I'm hoping that it is just because of what happened with getting called up or being being in the minors. I'm sorry, the peanut gallery is making comments, and I'm very distracted. We have an
that's your
audience.
fault. That's your fault for getting distracted. I saw it and I was moving on. All I'm gonna say is you said he went down with knee inflammation. When you're pitching, everything starts from the ground up. So I mean, it could
Oh
really have
yes,
just been a
exactly.
aggravating knee injury that he just never got over for the rest of the season. So I understand the frustration if you're a Cubs fan and you paid him all that money and he wasn't able to perform the way you were hoping he was going to be able to perform. But at the end of the day, he only threw 20 innings. He was bounced all around. Wait and see what he does this year before you call him a complete waste.
Oh, I'm not calling it a complete waste. I'm just saying like last season was awful. Yeah, and so he's got like, but like that's what I'm saying. We'll talk more about Craig Kimbrell in a little bit because I'm talking a lot about him now, and he's in my little player focus section. Which, speaking of, let's go into our player focus because we got a few. I'm gonna try and keep these short because I've already talked a lot about him. Chris Bryant, you already heard my rant. Fucking extend him. Stop being stupid. What the fuck? I honestly God hope he puts up like ridiculous numbers again this season, like just like MVP numbers again, just so that way the Cubs can feel even more retarded for not giving it to him. There is no reason that you don't extend this guy. Absolutely none. And it's insane to me that you can have a guy this good and that wants to play in your city and not extend him. And so, he's gonna be a fun one to watch.
You
He's always
chose
an
the
excellent
perfect
player. He's
picture
gonna
as
be one.
well because he even looks like he can't believe it. He's just looking at somebody in disgust.
Just like he's like looking at a fan, like he's connected eyes with a fan in the outfield, like just looking over the ivy, and like they're like on a wavelength. Can you believe these guys aren't extending me? Like, come on. And like you can't piss off the fans. The fans love this guy. And so if you go to the next picture, At the very least, give an extension to El Mago. Come on, he's fun to watch. He's got a nickname called El Mago. Like, that's pretty fucking cool. The man also like he doesn't steal a shitload of bases, but when he steals bases, he makes it look really easy. He got like the cool swim moves and shit. He can fucking field like a monster. He can do everything. And I'm a sucker for long term shortstops as a Yankee fan. Uh, had a few exciting ones. I had one exciting one to watch growing up, and well, two because I loved Didi Gregorius to death. But just maybe him because you know what? He's gonna be another exciting one to watch because he's been MVP throughout 2 seasons in a row. Could very well do it again if he could just work on the strikeouts again. Next, Anthony Rizzo. Oh hey, common theme here. Stop being stupid. Extend the man. The man loves this city. The man does a shitload for this city.
I may have
He
put this picture up for the wrong guy you were talking about earlier. I'm not gonna lie. My apologies on that one.
No, you put the right picture up.
I did it right earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay,
Oh
sorry.
yeah, you're fine.
Continue.
No, so like he's one of the best for he's easily top three first basemen in the league. Like I can't think of like the only one that comes to mind is like Matt Olson, who can't play at home, so he can't be a best first baseman in the league. I'm trying to think of like other top tier first basemen. Like you got Miguel Cabrera's a DH. Like Joey Votto's way past his prime. Paul Goldschmidt could be a threat, and actually Paul Goldschmidt's probably another one that I put in the top three. But like at the end, and Freddie Freeman, okay, there's my top three first basemen in the league right there. None of them from the AL. The AL first baseman for the most part suck. I like Luke Voigt,
Yeah,
but
I knew it was coming. I knew it was
yeah, yeah,
coming.
yeah.
As soon as you said
I
first
lo-
baseman,
I love me Mike Ford as well.
I'm
But
like, here
anyway,
comes
that's
Luke
back.
Voigt coming in
We're
hot.
not talking about the Yankees. The Yankees. You thought this video was long. Yankees video.
Oh,
You guys are not.
I
You
plan
are
on getting
not
like a
prepared.
bowl of popcorn, rolling out the sleeping bag. I'm gonna be here for a minute when you're talking about the Yankees.
But like seriously, this guy he makes even more sense to extend from a money perspective if you're really that concerned about a luxury tax when you're one of the richest organizations in the league that has no excuse to not spend money.
The
At
peanut
least
gallery has said that the Yankee video will be longer than the Avatar movie, and honestly, I think he could be right on that one.
he could be. He very well could be. It's honestly possible. Um, and even if you're like pushing out on being a good organization and just extending the good players on your team, he makes more sense. Like he's a much more because he's not playing a position like third base, which is super demanding. He's playing first base. He's got an excellent bat. You can probably get him for cheaper than Chris Bryant. So just one of those three. You got to pick one. And honestly, I think you got to pick either between Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, and also extending Javi Baez. But between Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, you should be extending both of them. But you got to pick one. You cannot let both of them walk. If they both of them walk, Cubs fans are going to be pissed. Because Cubs fans have a right to be pissed because this team. He's a huge part of their World Series team, and you don't have a lot of guys left from the 2016 team, and it's only 4 years later.
They
Uh,
broke the curse. That's all that matters.
no, they did. That is the most important thing. But besides breaking the curse, you want to keep people around
What was it, like
that have been
104
there.
years they went without winning, something like that? 103 years?
108.
Oh, it's close.
I think it was 108. I'm going 108. And by the way, the reason why I love the Cubs so much, we went on a baseball trip in 2011 when I was like 11 years old, and it was a Sunday. It was July 3rd, 2011. They were playing the White Sox, and and I ran the bases at Wrigley. And I had so much fun. I
You
was like the
ran
most.
the bases at Wrigley? That's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
they took you down. You went out through the. I guess it was like a maintenance area, and it may have been near the bull. You ran around, and I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know anyone who was playing. I'm just like freaking out, like this place is awesome, and I was having the time of my life out there. Actually, I think we came out of where the current bullpens are because Wrigley used to have the bullpens on the field for a while. I'm not 100% sure. Like that part is a little foggy, but like nothing will ever beat the experience of running around the bases on a major league baseball field, especially as a kid who sucked at baseball and just desperately wanted to be a baseball player. Like, it was like a dream come true. And from that moment on, I was a Cubs fan. It didn't help that it did, and it just was even better that it was a rivalry game, and you know everyone was talking shit, and everyone was having a lot of fun because the Cubs won. Alfonso Soriano was on the team at the time, actually. Kerry Wood pitched. Remember that, and it was just a lot of fun. It was probably one of the most fun baseball games I've ever been to. Other most fun would probably be the Aaron Hicks 3 home runs versus the Red Sox. That was a lot of fun to be at. But yeah, like it's just anyway. Moving on because I want to wrap this up. Yu Darvish up next. Another man that he's going to be really fun to watch, not for the extension talks, but because he's on this big contract, and he's shown glimpses of himself. If he can put up together a season like he did for the second half of last year, and just keep you know dominating the you know the NL Central the way he has been, that could be a huge weapon for the Cubs in their push to be better than last season, and in their push to get back into the graces of the postseason. I think that what he's shown is that what he did at the end of last season is say, no, this is why I'm earning this money. I am good enough to be making this much money, and so now it's his chance to prove it. Like the ball is in his hand, like literally, and it'll be really fun to watch. And so he's a guy to really watch out for. And the last guy we need to talk about. What was the last thing on there?
Well, this is John
Oh,
Lester, and then
oh yes, I forgot I
Kimbrel.
had six. Yeah, so John Lester. God, I love watching John Lester pitch. He's not like dominating guys with high velocity, but he's been around the league. He pitches like every
I like him better now that he's not a Red Sox. I will say that.
well, yeah, not everyone likes him better than he's on the Red Sox, obviously, but love him now that he's on the Red Sox. But he's a team leader. He pitches with a lot with like he's become a finesse pitcher, and he's just a lot of fun to watch. And he's always going to put up you know a solid start. You never have to question if he's going to be good, even if he gets knocked around a little bit. Like okay, next inning he'll be fine. And actually, a really funny story I learned about him. There was one game last season. He went like 2 or 3 innings and got absolutely destroyed, like shelled. And this poor kid who got called up that day from AAA to be like get a couple innings in the majors to see how looks. Like he knew he wasn't going to be up for long, and the guy knew he wasn't going to be up for long. But he ended up going out pitching solid innings, and then immediately optioned back to AAA like right after the game. And he felt so bad because he was hoping because he would have got a couple days with the club if he only pitched 1 inning or if he didn't pitch that day. And instead, he gets not even a full day with the club because he pitched so bad. And he felt so bad. Him and his wife did a little search and figured out what he liked and sent him like a really expensive bottle of liquor and an apology card, which he has never done because he just felt so bad that the guy didn't get to have more than a day at the majors. But so and the reason why he's going to be a thing to watch is that this has been one of the most consistent of pitchers in the league for many years. He's not done yet. He's definitely got more gas in the tank, I think, but he's coming towards the end. And guys like this, you got to get the chance to watch him while you have him because he's just that player. He's not like I don't know necessarily Hall of Fame caliber player, but he's been such a good player, and he's had such impact on two organizations that struggled for so long to win, and he's proven himself to be that guy for a team. And then if we go to our last guy, Craig Kimbrel. And now, like we just discussed, it could have been injury, it could have been the spring training. There's a lot of things that it could have been, and so I'm hoping that this season when it starts, he's able to show that no, I'm not gonna be. Oh, who was the closer on the Indians for so long? for a few years now.
I hope you're
Knew
not
what to
asking
gain.
me that with the expectation of me knowing it.
Oh God, is it Cody Allen? Let me go look.
I really hope you're not expecting me to know that information.
Cody Allen, right? Yeah, Cody Allen. I'm not a Cody Allen. Like Cody Allen was super dominant for a lot of years, and then in 2018 and 2019, he just got shelled and could not, for the life of him, pitch in the last two seasons. And so this season's a huge thing for Greg Kimbrell. Even though there's lots of logical reasons to why he didn't pitch well, he's got to show that that's why he didn't pitch well. And I think he can. I think he's the caliber of player who can. I mean, he came in, stormed the league so hard that they gave him Rookie of the Year out of the bullpen, which never happens. And so he's one to keep a close eye on because every team in the NLC, every team that wants to compete in the postseason needs to have that lockdown guy, and he needs to be it. The Cubs have put too much into him for him to not be that guy, and I think he can be that guy, and he should be that guy. So, flip the report card. How long have I been going?
Wow. You're at 36.
Oh, that's actually not as long as I thought I was gonna go. Lineup A, easiest A of my life. It's so good. Those top four guys, awesome. They got good bats. They got a couple project bats in there, but they're bench with David Bodie and and Steven Souza that's another offseason pickup, and Albert Almora can all be solid players that all off the bench. And so I think they got I got to think they got a pretty solid team. Uh, their lineup is just really good. It's deep. It has good bench. I think they have plenty to go on. Um, Bullpen. It's gonna be it's not like the Orioles, so it's not getting an F. They have good parts. They have Craig Kimbrell. They have a guy in Rowan Wick who's had a solid season last year, but not enough to hasn't thrown enough to really say what he's gonna do this season. And so I gotta give it like a C, C plus. I'm gonna give it a C. It's like borderline C plus. It's not. It's definitely not a B. Like it's definitely not. It's good, but it's not firing on all cylinders. And by good, I mean like it's good for whatever. It's not that good, but it's not that bad either. Jeremy Jeffress, if he can do what he did for a few seasons there in Milwaukee and other, I don't remember who else he's played for off the top of my head.
Again, I hope you're not asking me to know this.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay, I'm down for the Brewers and Rangers and Brewers again. Like if he can do any of that, that's a steal of a contract you have on him. That could be really, really strong out of the bullpen. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of upside to it. A lot of these guys are young, unproven, and just haven't had the time to really be in the majors. And so there's a lot of questions. I don't think it's going to be all bad out of the bullpen from the Cubs this season. So that's why I'm giving it a C. Rotation, gonna give it B plus. B plus. I'm leaning towards B plus because I don't think this bullpen has a significant. I don't think this rotation has a significant weakness based on what Tyler Chatwood did last year. If Tyler Chatwood did anything similar to 2018 and was in the lineup in the rotation, then I'd say it's a B, maybe at best. But you got four guys who you don't need to question are going to put up quality starts. Yu Darvish has shown he can strike out people along with the best of them. I don't think they have the same 1-2 punch the Yankees or the Mets or like the Dodgers have, but they do have really solid. They have a really solid rotation. So overall, though the Cubs had a horrible offseason, I still think the team's very good, and I think that they are. I think they're. I think it's between them, the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Brewers. I think it's between any one of those four teams who can really take it away. I think the Cubs. This is coming as bias as a Cubs fan. I think the bias. I think Cubs are my favorite to win it. But then again, that's implying that the bullpen goes right, and that Kyle Chatwood doesn't regress, and that John Lester is able to pitch at the same level he's been pitching for so many years. But I think right now, I think the biggest two are Cubs and Cardinals for this division, and so it'd be interesting to see. But that's it for me. Anything else you want to throw in there?
Well, not specifically Cubs related, but you've got the usual.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and get notifications when we post.
Make sure to check out
Um,
our Discord and
yeah,
our
check out our Discord. Please, for the love of
social
God,
media
check out our
down in
Discord.
the
Sharing put
description.
too much time into our Discord for you to not check out our Discord.
I did
Please
not
check out our
put that
Discord.
much time. It was like an hour and a half.
That's more time than I put into my Discord.
You have a Discord?
Yeah, I exactly. Like that's how much time I put into it. I think there's 3 people in it.
I didn't even know you
I'm
had a Discord.
Yeah, I made it like over the school year. My friends needed a place for us to all use Discord, and so I created one real fast.
I mean,
Oh, here I'm inviting you to it right now.
uh, okay.
You're invited.
I'm invited. All right, let me just. Oh, I'm not. Should I bring up the name?
No.
That's a questionable name there, buddy.
Okay.
Um,
Apparently the peanut gallery wants an invite too. What have I done? Uh,
but yeah, check out our Discord. Check out the other
check out
social media.
Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, those are all linked in the description below. Tomorrow I will be back with. I don't even know. Anybody have any idea what team I do tomorrow?
I mean, you got the
I just did the
spreadsheet.
Chicago Bears. So hold on.
Whatever team you have after that.
Now it's gonna bother me. Now I need to know. So you gotta give me a second. Now it's gonna load. This is our
Cleveland
Excel
Browns.
sheet.
Cleveland Browns. Someone's keeping on top of it. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you. And now you lied. It's the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow.
Oh, I can
What's
talk about
up?
the Cincinnati Reds on Thursday.
Misread.
That'll be fun.
So
Honestly, the more I think about it, by the way, I think it's a mostly a three-way race between the Cubs, Reds, and Cardinals. Now I'm thinking about it because the Reds also have put together a really good team with a really good offseason. So
I am just gonna say really quickly that guy that just came in to let us know what was going on next. That is the person that we've dubbed the creativity/image design team, known as Is Your
he
Boy on Discord. Yeah, all those beautiful thumbnails that you see, they get you to click on our videos. That's all him. So appreciate it.
he has not done the banner. That's still a stock image that we threw in there. But yeah, that's our creativity guy.
But I think that'll wrap it up for us. Like we said, check out make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know where Matt fucked up, because I certainly don't know enough to call him out on it. Um, check out our social media, join our Discord. Other than that, your video. How do you want to end it off?
I just want to say, if people obviously get heated about every sport, but I think like the baseball fans just have this sense of just knowing. It's not like you're not gonna. I don't think baseball fans are the same level as football fans are with fiery. Like they're passionate about their teams, but they're not going to defend a shit with glitter on it.
Well, here's what I will say on that note. I think the biggest difference is that there's 162 games in a baseball season and there are 16 games in a football season. So it's a lot easier to say anything can happen in a football season. Whereas in baseball, with 162 games, a bad team is not going to make the playoffs very often. Whereas in football, a bad team that gets very lucky on a few plays absolutely can be in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot easier to say that, especially since all the playoff games are just one games and done. I mean, look at the Eagles. The year after they won the Super Bowl, they only made it to the second round of the playoffs because the Bears kicker, who shall not be named, clanked it off the post.
Cody Parkey.
Clanked it off the post. And Keenan Galley has added in any given Sunday, and that's exactly what I'm getting at. So, but anyways, we've dragged this ending on long enough. Roll out. Come on, kid. What's the ending comment?
I gave my ending comment.
You don't have anything else. That was your ending comment.
I really don't have anything else. I'm sad. The Cubs
There you go.
I feel like could be super fucking good. I feel like there's no reason this team shouldn't have been a juggernaut in the offseason and pulling in more bullpen arms and making more trades, just doing something. I feel like they just said, well, we have a really good lineup. That's all we need. Just totally ignoring like the trends of the past 10 years of, oh, who wins games in the postseason? Oh,
The creativity
oh,
team
it's
wants to
pitch.
just.
Oh shit. Oh my God, it's the bullpen that could lock down games. Oh no. We fucked up. We didn't sign anyone. Uh,
Well, with
that's
that
my
being said, the creativity and image design team has said that you should subscribe again, unsubscribe, and then resubscribe. So I guess that's 3 subscriptions. So
I'll take just step one, honestly.
fair enough. But with that being said, we will see you tomorrow. Peace.